Beyond the Mic with Sean Dillon.
We're joined on the Starline by a retired sergeant major. He escaped communism, fought underground matches. He's a decorated Green Beret and author. His book, The Way of Rōnin, Defying the Odds on Battlefields, in business and in life, is now out. We thank him for his service and welcome Tu Lam.
Morning.
Good morning, Tu. Let's go beyond the mic. You've overcome adversity from the beginning of your life, smuggled out of a refugee camp to the main fight card at Nippon Budokan, and many other incredible stories. How does defeat fuel you?
Defeat fuels me by, there's no such thing as defeat. Defeat is experience. It's the will to want to be something more after that defeat. So in my eyes, things may not go the way we plan, but there's no such thing as defeat. It's only experience gained.
You say in your book, quote, back at home, a young wife waits. And it was also Ruthie who eventually had to care for the monster who ultimately came back, unquote. How did Ruthie help you from your return?
I would say the integration, after war, after fighting and survival for that long, it's the integration. That's what she really helped me with, and to introduce me back to, a life that's not so combat oriented.
Tu, what's the one thing you want people to understand about the Way of the Rōnin?
It's about facing adversaries. In today's world, we tend to look at the easy path, and there's no growth in the easy path. And my story is about embracing the hardships, and in the other side is resilience and a better person.
Tu Lam, his book, The Way of the Rōnin, Defying the Odds on Battlefields, in business and in life. He joins us beyond the mic for the Rocking 8. Tu, all this is 8 random questions. Answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. There is no pressure. Best course you took at an American military university?
Military history when I went to college at AMU.
Which is your favorite blade?
My Shinto blade from Spartan Blades.
Helping vets is one of your core ways of giving back. Why was that important for you?
Because I've seen the hardships that veterans face overseas. I'm a veteran myself, so I understand the struggles. I think that, when we understand, we can help.
You've been immortalized as Ronin in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Do you have time to play games?
No, I don't play video games. Mm-hmm.
I didn't think so. Which insect do you dislike the most?
Wow, chiggers.
Wow, I haven't thought about chiggers in years.
That goes back to my military training where I got over my body on the East Coast. We're doing special operations training, and man, chiggers are horrible on the East Coast, so chiggers.
You say happiness is a choice. What makes you happy every day?
Purpose is what makes you happy, living a life of fulfillment, but pursuing a higher purpose.
What gives you purpose now?
Giving back, sharing my story, taking my life struggles and helping others through their life struggles.
What's your favorite quote from your mother?
We always will have bad days. It'll always happen to us, but what do you learn from these bad days, and who is the person that you will become from this bad day?
You've learned, taught, and embraced the Way of the Rōnin. What's the one thing you still want to learn?
I'm still working on being present, being present every day, not be in my head all the time. So that, being present.
It's time for the back half with Tu Lam, his book, The Way of Rōnin, Defying the Odds on Battlefields, in business and in life. And he joined us beyond the mic. Tu, what was your greatest victory and defeat?
I would say my greatest victory in life was, I came from oppression. I was born in war. I came from that environment, and I returned back to these environments around the world, freeing the oppressed. So from the oppressed to freeing the oppressed, I say that was my biggest accomplishments. My biggest failures, man, in my youth, I was full of fire. I was full of hate, living off of the trauma. So I wish that, I didn't hold on to hate when I was in my life. I wish I would have noticed that.
How has the way America fights evolved from when you started to when you retired? And what scares you about our armed forces today?
Our military's gotten a lot smarter over the years. I would say, in special forces, during the beginning of the war, all the way to the end, we're using technology at the highest level. We're using satellites, communications. We're using a lot of the technology that, I didn't see during the beginning of the war.
How has technology made intelligence easier?
Well, in the special forces, we had to find, fix, and kill the enemy. My background is I have hunt down some of the world's most wanted men. And doing that, we had to utilize technology. If any terrorist organization turns on a piece of technology from around the world, we will find, fix, and locate them right away. So technology has changed the way that we gather intelligence and quickly organize and able to put in, the guys like me with night vision to be able to take them out.
To which battlefield has your attention?
All the battlefields have my attention. I study all the battlefields, and a lot of the wars I've seen going on right now are proxy wars. If you think back to the 80s, it was the same thing. Proxy wars between the communists, between diplomat, from our side of the house against the communist regime. So same thing that played out in the 80s is playing out today. We're using proxy wars. That means we're funding different countries to fight against, our enemies. So all of it raise a huge concern to me. And, and it's in multiple fronts now. It's not just in one front. It's multiple fronts. And we need to tread lightly right now because we're stirring up the whole Middle East. And I tell you this, having fought the war in the Middle East, we're not fighting, guys in flip-flops in a cave. We're fighting a full-blown military force. It's going to be a different war on this layout.
It's time for One Big Question with Tu Lam Beyond the Mic. How have you overcome your inner monster, and are there more white stones than black?
Inner monster I tried to kill my inner monster many times. My inner monster was forged when I was left for dead at 3 years old in the South China Sea. This monster gave skilled in the special operations, and it hunted down some of the world's most wanted men. This monster, which I thought was my enemy, was my best friend. And that's where everybody needs to understand is your monster, the one that the one that gives you anxieties, the one that it wants you to be better. And you need to listen to that monster because that's your biggest friend.
He loves his Shinto knife, military history, and his amazing wife of 23 years. His book is The Way of Rōnin, Defying the Odds on Battlefields, in business and in life. Tu Lam, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You can always find more at beyondthemic.com. And that, my friends, is a Beyond the Mic shortcut. If you're enjoying these conversations, please check out another Beyond the Mic episode to find more actors, artists, and people you need to know. We'd also appreciate a like and subscribe on the Good Pods app.